This is the Water Quality Association podcast.
It's also going to be an opportunity to have everyone who's on the call chat with each other. If your mentor couldn't make the call, no big deal. Let's get you connected with someone else in the program. And again, that's kind of how we're seeing multiple connections happen throughout the program.
That's WQA's Jill Gasienica talking about the WQA Mentorship Program and why you can benefit either as mentor or mentee. And welcome to the weekly podcast from the Water Quality Association, the leading voice of the residential, commercial, and industrial water treatment community. I'm Wes Bleed. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and leave a comment and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss a show. And we'd love for you to catch our podcasts on YouTube. In this episode, we talk with Jill Gasienica, WQA's External Affairs Coordinator, about the WQA Mentorship Program. We'll hear about the program's evolution, structure, and the benefits it offers to both mentees and mentors. And we also highlight the importance of networking, personal and professional development, and the reciprocal learning environment fostered by the mentorship program. Jill shares insights on how participants can get involved and the outcomes that they can expect from their experience in the program. Plus, we'll have our WQA tip. It's all coming up on the Water Quality Association podcast. How do water treatment professionals connect with one another and offer guidance and support in their personal and professional lives? Well, how about the WQA Mentorship Program? We'll talk about it in this podcast with WQA's External Affairs Coordinator, Jill Gasienica. Jill was on a recent podcast as we talked about innovation. You may recall, if you didn't get a chance to view that, you really should, because it's an exciting program about how a high schooler was involved along with a WQA member in co-designing a really nifty device. But anyway, I digress. Jill, great to have you back on the show. Thank you for joining us.
Wes, it's great to be back. Thanks for having me again.
An interesting fact about Jill, besides her many years of experience with WQA, is that her first trip overseas was to Ireland. Am I getting this right? On your own? You took a solo trip to Europe?
Yeah, I just decided to go big or go home. First time out of the country. I'm going to go and check it out solo and do everything at my leisure, my time.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So I'm sure a lot of good experiences from that. Okay, we need an overview, I guess, to begin, of the WQA Mentorship Program. And I don't know, it's been around for a little while, right? How many years? And what can you tell us in general about what it is and who's it for?
Yeah, so it has been around for some time and a lot of great minds involved in the creation of the program, from WQA staff internally and even those in the broader industry. It actually started in the summer of 2019 as the WIN, Women in Industry Mentoring Program. And then in 2023, it blossomed and expanded into kind of mentoring for all different types of folks who have different hopes and ambitions, and staying true to its roots, though. We let people choose what kind of mentoring perspective they'd like. And that, of course, does include a women in industry perspective if they'd like.
All right. A mentorship program might be obvious to many who are watching and listening, but in general, how does it work?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of great reimagining of the program, which I'm so excited to be a part of. But there's a lot of elements that you would think comes with a traditional mentoring program. So we have our mentor and mentees who fill out a questionnaire. And then behind the scenes, we look at those questionnaires, look for some common themes, and determine if they'll be a great match for each other. And folks can actually do the one-on-one mentor-mentee, or we also do have group mentoring available as an option too.
So someone who is, let's just say, newer to the industry and needs some support would apply for being a mentee, and someone who has been around the block a few times, maybe even is maybe closer to retirement perhaps, would want to share their expertise and applies to be a mentor. Is that basically what we're talking about?
That can certainly be a situation, and that's kind of the beauty of the program too. I mentioned earlier that we did a lot of reimagining of the program, and one of the big things that we honed in on, which was kind of informally happening all along, but we've really honed in on making it a more concrete element of the program, and that's the fact that it's a reciprocal learning environment, really. So yes, we do have our traditional mentees, which very much could be someone who's green to the industry. And then you see your traditional mentors, who might be someone who's been in the industry for a long time or in a leadership position for a long time. But we really are starting to showcase now the fact that mentors and mentees can both learn from each other. So on paper, one might be applying for a mentee or mentor, but really they're going to get to wear both hats. And that's kind of the beauty of how the program has evolved.
And we'll talk toward the end of the conversation here about the whole application process. You mentioned the questionnaire and what's involved in that. So just keep that in mind. If you're enjoying the program and you're liking what you hear, and again, this is what WQA is all about, providing support and ongoing connections among and between various members of WQA. So a podcast like this, by the way, is an example of the kind of information and help and support that we offer at WQA. So hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast, leave a comment if you would like, and we'll definitely benefit from that. All right, so can you give us some examples, Jill, of how the program, you said both mentee and mentor can benefit, what that has perhaps been like for some of the mentees and mentors that you are connected with?
That's a great question, Wes. And one of the things I've actually enjoyed about getting to be a part of the mentorship program is really seeing how it's fostering lifelong connections. And I know it's something that our membership base has talked about, that's one of the great parts of being a member is that networking and those connections, and hearing from folks who have participated in the program as a mentee and then proceeded to participate in the next cycle as a mentor, and then met others who were in the program and had an aha moment and realized we have this XYZ in common. And then they take that offline and continue to build those connections. So it was really great to hear from past participants how they participated in one or more cycles, but even when the cycle closes, they're still having those meaningful connections with folks in the industry after.
And is the cycle a year long?
Yeah, so there's a little bit of variance. We kind of play with different times based on participant feedback, but usually one can expect the cycle to go over the duration of about half a year. Right now, we're looking at the 2025 to 2026 cycle. We'll be kicking off with a orientation in September, and then the cycle will go through leading up to our convention in April in Miami Beach.
Okay. All right. Very good. So let's drill down a little bit. What happens? What do the mentors and mentees do, and how often do they do it?
Absolutely. Great question. So we kind of alluded to those questionnaires, which are going to help us make some great matches. But behind the scenes, we have our lead advisory councils, the leadership engagement and development team, which is made up of our Women in Industry Win, Rise Young Professionals, and Thrive Diversity in Thoughts and Ideas, are doing some great work behind the scenes to develop some content for the webinar program, really focusing on leadership topics this cycle. And so throughout the cycle, we will have a few different webinars with some guest speakers, different reading materials, and ways that we get everyone in the program in one room, if you will, one virtual room. And then there's the opportunity to have your mentor-mentee meeting right there, because everyone will have the pre-calendar already programmed into their Outlook, so they'll know when to expect the meetings. So it's a great time to inadvertently have your mentor-mentee meeting during those webinars. But on the flip side, going back to that reciprocal learning environment that we talked about, that theme that we're really trying to celebrate here, It's also going to be an opportunity to have everyone who's on the call chat with each other. If your mentor couldn't make the call, no big deal. Let's get you connected with someone else in the program. And again, that's kind of how we're seeing multiple connections happen throughout the program.
So it sounds like there is some structure to the program. You mentioned the calendar invites and things like that, and the various meetings, virtual meetings. But is there also room for the mentor and mentee to connect on their own?
Yes. So we will go as deep in the questionnaire as asking, what's your preference for meetings? Are you a morning person? Are you grabbing your coffee and heading to a meeting? Or do you like to kind of close your day with some final thoughts and have afternoon meetings? So we are asking folks down to what your meeting preference is so that, we can decide, hey, it looks like these two questionnaires match all the way down to wanting the AM meetings. So we really get down into the nitty-gritty to make sure that we're making meaningful matches.
Right. And there's the busyness of work, right, that you have to figure out. And I would imagine there's going to be some give and take on that whole thing. But fear not, right? You just you work it out. Everybody can be a little bit more flexible if they need to.
And what's great is, myself as the program administrator too, I'm here to help those who are in the program. If we're having a hard time connecting, we are here throughout to make sure that you're getting the most out of the program. And then in return, we hope that participants are doing the same so that they have a really valuable experience in the program.
Is the mentor-mentee connection here, is it primarily business oriented or is it professional development oriented? You know what I mean? Is it, am I running my business well, or am I doing well? Or does it incorporate both?
Yeah, it's definitely something that's going to be determined by what the mentee is hoping to get out of the program, and certainly what the mentor feels that their skills are into. Another, chatting about the questionnaire a lot, but, the nitty-gritty details really make it. But we go ahead and we ask mentors, what are your strong suits? And as I mentioned, we're really focusing on those leadership topics this time around. So we're asking mentors, where you feel strongly, and asking mentees, where are you hoping to develop your skills? It's definitely in the realm of leadership, but the program too is all about personal and professional growth, being able to make those meaningful connections. Talk about, this is the water treatment industry, talking about some situations, some real world scenarios that we can apply as they're happening in real time. So there's definitely a choose your own adventure element to it, but we are kind of providing some options through those questionnaires and through those matches.
And you might have touched on this, but is there any kind of certain minimum requirement, number of years as a member of WQA, or number of years in the industry, or anything along those lines? Or let's just say you might be older, maybe it's a second career. So you're not really a young person, you're not a young professional, but you could still stand to be mentored.
Yes, so true. Have you checked out the questionnaire, Wes? That's actually one of the sections of the questionnaire as well. We have a part where it's like, I'm new to the industry. I've been a professional for X amount of years, but this is only, my first year, second year in the industry, and I'm kind of, wanting to learn more. So we definitely do touch upon those different areas.
Great. So let's talk about the program wrapping up. What would you say somebody walks away with after the cycle has completed?
Well, certainly we hope that they walk away with some meaningful connections. We definitely find that we see some familiar faces, and certainly folks do know one another in the industry, but we hope that we're able to have new people crossing paths with each other and, continuing to have those meaningful conversations outside of the formal program cycle. And then we always love to see too repeat attendees, because they've gone through the program, they've shared their feedback. We are enhancing this program based on participant feedback because we do want them to get the most valuable experience out of it.
Right. And I can't emphasize enough, as I'm listening to Jill and hearing this and knowing what I know about many of the members at WQA, this is the perfect opportunity to get not only connected, but to take advantage of the wisdom, really, the wisdom and experience of what our members have to offer. So, all right, let's talk about getting involved. How does somebody look into this, check into this? And I think you had a recent webinar on the topic as well. How would somebody maybe watch the replay? What would the benefits be from that?
Yeah, absolutely, Wes. So we did host our first open orientation for the program in May, and that gave folks the opportunity to get a little bit of history on the program, what's to come from the program, and of course, we have to leave some element of surprise, but we did have that. And that was for anybody, whether they were planning to sign up for the program after, whether they were going on behalf of a coworker they felt it might be valuable for. There's no commitment to the program necessary to attend that orientation. And we do officially have signups open throughout the summer for the mentee and mentors. So anybody could visit WQA.org/mentorship and go ahead and fill out the questionnaire now. But what's exciting is before we kick off the program, we will be hosting another open orientation. If folks have already committed to the program, absolutely feel free. We're going to get a little more detailed by unveiling the official webinar topics. If you've already submitted your questionnaire by the open orientation, you'll have been matched as well. But we are still leaving it open to those who are maybe last minute making that exciting decision to join the program. So that open orientation number 2 is actually taking place on Thursday, September 25th, and folks can register on our events page now.
All right, so WQA.org/mentorship for the details for the, what did you call it, questionnaire?
The questionnaires are on there for the mentee and mentors. The registration for the second orientation is also on there.
Well, it's exciting and another powerful benefit of being a WQA member. So thank you, Jill, for filling us in, giving us the just overall points that we need to consider if we want to be involved in the program. And I hope many of you will consider it. So any final thoughts, Jill?
I hope the same. Again, this is a great value add to our members. It's a free program that we offer as one of the many benefits of WQA membership. So dipping in and getting your feet wet is no harm, no foul there. But yeah, any questions? I also am a great resource as well. You can email mentorship@WQA.org with any questions. It'll be me behind the scenes there, and I'm happy to chat with anybody more about the program.
Great, Jill. Thanks again. WQA's External Affairs Coordinator, Jill Gasienica, joining us on the podcast, talking about WQA's Mentorship Program. Thank you.
Thanks, Wes.
Our WQA tip, have you checked out the PFAS portal lately? It's on WQA's website. Click on Education and then PFAS portal. You'll find regulatory updates, resources for dealers, a downloadable consumer guide that dealers can use to talk to consumers and answer questions, and a video, 5 things to know about PFAS, plus much more. It's one of the many benefits of WQA membership. Learn more about becoming a member at WQA.org/membership. Thanks for joining us for the Water Quality Association podcast, bringing you the latest news and insights from the association, our members, and outside experts to help you better serve your customer and grow your business. Learn more about water and water filtration at our consumer website, betterwatertoday.org, and learn more about professional certification, product certification, and how you can become a WQA member at WQA.org. Until next time, this is Wes Bleed. So long from the Water Quality Association.